Hey kids, what time is it?
Despite what people have been saying about this show, Daredevil Born Again, in terms of the low viewer ratings, I've been enjoying it. But I have to say, episode 4 was a bit of a disappointment. Not there were any good scenes or anything like that, but it doesn't seem to push the story forward. It just seems like it was just something there to take up an episode without actually pushing the story forward. So we got before I get into it too much, there's going to be spoilers for this, as per usual. You have the kingpin Wilson Fisk. You see another scene of him and his wife Vanessa doing couples therapy. Do we really need to continue seeing that? First of all, a character like Wilson Fisk and also Vanessa, they don't seem to be people that would be going to therapy no matter what's going on in their lives. But we've seen this before, so yes, they have issues between them, but that doesn't mean you have to go to therapy. I think it's the only reason that they have that in here is because they want to do some kind of shock value later on, because their therapist is actually the person who's involved with Matt, and neither Wilson Fisk or Matt know about that connection between them, maybe. But you don't have to keep showing scenes of that. It seems like a waste of time just showing them in therapy again. Then you see Fisk doing a typical mayoral duties. You see him. You could see his frustration as he's trying to get things done, where they have to tell him that in order to get major renovations in the city done, you have to go through these environmental tests, and committees have to get together and vote on this and that, and it's like that's why all the red tape that goes along with it, and he hates that because he just wants to get things done. And it's like it does show you the reflection of how bureaucratic our society is, where things take a long time to get done, and it's not completely not his style. You also see him attend certain events, like one of them, of course, Marvel's pushing this Doctor Doom thing now that they've announced that the next few Avengers movies is going to be about with Doctor Doom. They have Fisk attend this Latvian cultural thing, because Doctor Doom's from Latveria, so I don't know. They'll be pushing this until Doomsday. Pardon the pun, because they obviously they want to try to push the Avengers movies that are coming out, I believe 2026 and 2027, where Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doctor Doom. So not much there happening at all. You don't see the story going forward with them. So we also have Matt. So his partner, his new partner now, Kristen, sends him to go take care of this guy who's got some random guy who got got arrested for petty larceny. Now I have to say, I think the people who are doing these series really made a mistake, basically replacing great characters like Foggy and Karen with his new partner Kristen, and then they have the guy ex-cop, I don't even know his name, doing their investigating, and neither one of them is adding anything at all to this story. I don't know anything about them. They're not really doing anything except just once in a while you see them, get on the phone and say something real quick, and then that's the end of it. So you don't really know anything about him, or I don't even know the guy's name. I know the partner is Kristen, so I think they really did a disservice to the show, because Foggy and Karen were really, really great characters who always, challenged Matt on everything when they felt that he was wrong about something. So Matt goes down to the courthouse, and this guy who he's accused of, he was arrested for stealing, and he did it. And the thing is, the guy's got like a criminal record a mile long, so minimum for committing another crime, he's going to get 30 days. This is the minimum. He's going to get 30 days in jail, and he wants no part of jail. He wants Matt to just try to get him probation, which is laughable because of everything that he's done. Obviously, it's not something that he can do, but so Matt tries anyway. He uses his charm on the prosecutor, gets the plea deal down to 10 days, which is literally a miracle, because that's not something that they usually allow. So he comes back to the guy. He he's thinking that the guy's going to be happy that he did it. He's like, all you're doing is 10 days. And instead of being thankful for this, the suspect starts yelling at him that he's not doing his job. He didn't want any jail time at all. And Matt's like explaining to him, there's no way you're going to get away with not having any jail time, especially with your past. And he just starts going off on Matt and like saying how he's a victim of the system. The only reason they're arresting him is because he's victimized, and it's like nowhere does he take this accountability from the fact that he actually committed a crime. I hate how we're seeing movies and TV shows these days where everyone's like a victim, no matter what they do, no matter what crime they commit, whatever evil they do. There's always some kind of like excuse that they're a victim of something, a victim of a system that's unfair, and no accountability whatsoever. And I hate this. And it's like I don't even know what. It's such a waste of time. I don't know what it does to this Daredevil series. It doesn't really, like I said, push the story forward. It's just a way of like whining about how the system is unfair. And maybe the system is unfair in many ways, but it's like you have to also take accountability for what you do. He is guilty of committing a crime, and he's guilty of like committing many crimes in his past. So for him to like say things like this, and it's he even says to Matt, like I was put in jail in the past, and which he was guilty of another crime, and while I was in jail I missed my appointment to Social Security and I lost my SSI benefits. And I'm like thinking to myself, okay, first of all, you were in jail because it was your fault, so that's your fault, so I don't understand why you're complaining about it. And secondly, he doesn't come across as anything to do with SSI you're getting for disabilities. He doesn't come across as anything to do with having any kind of physical or mental disability. I mean, why isn't he getting a job to work? Why is he sitting there collecting benefits when it's like it doesn't seem like he needs to? So this whole thing about always claiming victimhood when you do something wrong, I hate it, and I don't know why people, who are from Hollywood, just always trying to put this into all their movies and TV shows. It's such a waste of time. So then, from what happened last week, Matt goes and investigates the White Tiger being shot, and uses his senses. He's able to locate the shell casing from the bullet that killed the White Tiger, and it has a symbol of the Punisher on him. So he goes and finds Frank Castle, and it looks like wherever Frank Castle is holed up, and Matt knew it all along, because it doesn't seem like he had to try hard at all to search for him. He just goes right to where he is, and he tells Frank, "But look, someone's been using your symbol to commit this crime, and he wants his help." And Frank will have nothing of it. He's like, "That's none of my business. What people do with my symbol. I have other things to do." And it looks like from here, where his lair is, where his new headquarters is somewhere, it does look like he's planning has planned quite a lot of missions of his own, where he's like doing his work, this vigilante work, and he doesn't want to get sidetracked by this. And Matt even tells him, like, totally contradictory to his scene with the other guy who was in jail. Matt tells Frank, "Oh, he's a victim." Actually calls Frank a victim, and Frank will have nothing of it. He gets angry. He's like, "Don't you dare associate that with me or anything." And he obviously Matt's looking for help here, but Frank is like, your type of vigilante justice is useless. It doesn't get anywhere. You don't have what it takes to do what real justice, to put people out of commission. He even brings up the fact that Foggy was killed by Bullseye, and Bullseye is still alive, and of course that gets Matt angry. This scene with Matt and Frank was actually a pretty good scene, and it's nice to see Frank back, and hopefully we'll see the Punisher in upcoming episodes. This was kind of like the highlight of the episode, but it still didn't really push the story that forward. We just know that Frank's out there carrying out his own missions, and now Matt goes away, and eventually I think they will get together, because we get another cool thing we do get from this episode is we get this shot of what is, I believe, is supposed to be the villain of the series. Now we know Wilson Fisk is the main protagonist of the entire Daredevil series, overall. But in this particular season, I guess what we call it the 4th season of Daredevil, I believe this character, Muse, is going to be the kind of main villain. But we haven't really seen much of him yet, so it's kind of like, let's get to more of him, because if he's supposed to be the main villain. So Muse, in the comic books, he's a really cool, well, I was going to say cool character, but not really, because of the things he does. He was in a comic book run written by Charles Soule. So Muse is this serial killer who uses his victims' blood and other body parts to create these artistic murals. So that's his thing, and so quite sadistic. And he also, I'm not sure, I don't know if they're going to make him comic book accurate, because we haven't really seen a lot of him, but he does have superhuman strength and agility, so a good opponent for someone like Daredevil and Punisher. And he also has this ability to absorb sensory, the way someone uses senses on him. So he's like, so it's hard to detect him. So I could see how he's able to avoid Matt's extrasensory powers, even his radar senses. He might be able to, in the comics, he's able to avoid being sensed by Matt even with his extrasensory powers. So I could see sometime in the future, if they get to a fight, him kind of beating up on Matt because of that ability. And he's still a good match for him, and Matt might not be able to get a beat on him. So it might be another reason for him to get help from the Punisher. And then finally, we do get a scene at the end that does look like it's Kingpin getting back to his Kingpin ways. Wilson Fisk getting back to Kingpin ways, because in the therapy session, in the couples therapy, they bring up this guy Adam, who Vanessa was involved with when Kingpin was away. And in her defense, when Kingpin was away for the last couple years, she really didn't know whether he was alive or dead or anything like that. So, and he has claimed up till now that he has neither one of them, both of them claimed in therapy that they have no idea where Adam is right now. But clearly they do, because this last scene you see Kingpin enjoying himself with a nice meal while he's looking at Adam being Kate. He has him holed up in a prison somewhere, in some hole somewhere where no one can see him. He's obviously suffering, and he's probably torturing him or beating him up at times, because you kind of see during the series his knuckles are there's blood on his knuckles, so it looks like he might be beating him on the regular, and he's going back to his sadistic ways, looking at this guy who he wants kind of revenge on, just for having been involved with Vanessa. And I really do think Vanessa also knows about this. I think deep down she's the type of person that, yeah, she knows that Wilson Fisk was going to do this and hold him like that. So it was kind of there was scenes at the end of the episode that were kind of showed you that it was going in the right direction, but the overall this episode, it really didn't push the story that much forward. And I have a feeling that at the end of this season, I think there's 9 episodes, and in the 9 episodes you could look back and you could probably think that whatever happened in episode 4 didn't really need to be there. So that was my take. The best I could do is give it like a 5 out of 10, and that's being generous. So hopefully things will get better from here on. Like I said, I've really been enjoying the series. This one was kind of a little bit slow and trying to push some kind of like political views instead of like concentrating on the characters and the story. But hoping it'll get better next week. And let me know what you thought of it, what you think of the season so far, the series so far, in the comment section, and we'll discuss about it. And that's it for me for this time. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.